Syndra and Elise immediately going out. Bjergsen, he was able to shut down double lift on Tristana. Even he wasn't safe enough from rocket jumping away from Bjergsen's scatter. He was just so on point with that skill shot.
So yeah, that kind of brings up a good question, because a lot of teams have been banning Tristana against Vasilii.
Right.
That was sort of his old main when he was playing back in China, but as we've seen, they were able to handle double lift on that champion very easily. Last man coming in would still be, you know, Lee Sin still up, Gragas is still up, which is always huge. Probably either Gragas or Tristana bans for Team Solomid. There's the Lee Sin, so that one's already gone. The other thing is, they could just leave both of those up and go for a jungle focus and take out the Nunu, which NoName has gone right back to after these top tier ones are gone.
Yep.
LMQ have found a lot of success with that champion.
See if that fits with whatever they do. So the Nunu could still go in. That leaves the composition open for everything as Ackerman takes Lulu. Rengar being hovered over.
Yeah, and
very a roller coaster ride of Rengars we've had in North America.
You can kind of tell, like, the crowd's a little bit uneasy about whenever they see a Rengar pick, because a lot of the Western teams just have not been able to utilize him to his maximum potential. I mean, he's all about getting to that 6 very quickly and then having very strong ganks. So we'll have to see if TSM pick laners that can set up his ganks well. If you set up a mid laner who's got a targeted CC, like a Ryze, then it would be very, very easy to get a kill with that first level 6 Rengar gank. The other thing that's really important is the support pick here. There are so many supports that can really aid a Rengar gank. I mean, Braum is banned out, but there's still plenty of options with hard CC. Morgana's really chancy, but Leona's always there still.
You still have Orianna for safety in that. Yasuo finding himself within this matchup again. 3 out of the 4 times these teams have faced off, there has been a Yasuo, and it's been on both sides.
And Yasuo, under the command of XiaoWeiXiao, has been very, very scary. Plus, they already locked in multiple ways of triggering his ultimate for that late game knockup. I mean, Lulu and Nami, they pretty much have all of the triggers that they need.
Talk about it a little bit, Kobe. We got the Irelia, but we also have the cow, Alistar, in the game again.
Yeah, we got to talk about Alistar because he got some. He got some much needed love, buffing up his ultimate and his mana cost. He's often been used as a counter to other melee supports, but they just pick him right into Nami.
Oh, wow.
Very interesting. And there's the super popular flavor of the month, Zilean, and he's going to be played mid. Let's see if Bjergsen can fill in Faker's footsteps and actually go with Medjai's, or if he just goes with the standard Tear and Chalice, skipping the Medjai's.
Well, Bjergsen likes to play aggressive, and he's usually going to be shutting down XiaoWeiXiao with this one, so it'll be an interesting way. We get initiations now out of Team Solomid. If they don't take a hold of the game early, they're going to be walking up the turrets, really trying to aggress underneath it. It's going to be a tough game. Remember, our featured matchup is that XiaoWeiXiao versus Bjergsen mid. So we get to see the Yasuo versus Zilean matchup in that respect. Let's pull up the votings from LOLesports.com, where 69% of you think that TSM is going to one-er this one.
And remember, you can always update your tweet by voting at LOL Esports and use the hashtag either LMQWin or TSMWin. Man, this matchup is going to be really, really interesting because their LMQ got so many picks that they have already been successful with. Whereas TSM are bringing in a lot of new things here. Zilean, speed up that Rengar gank so he can get in there even quicker, and he'll arrive with a bomb on his head.
And you double up with the selection on a new support. So new player for that support, or new champion in the LCS for that support, new support.
Yeah, Lustboy coming in very quickly. Before the arrival of Lustboy, we pretty much only had Aframu, who would play the cow.
That's true.
In very specific situations, usually with Orianna or as a counter to something like Leona. But this time around, he's going to be the main frontline tank because Dyrus playing Irelia focuses much more on damage from the top lane. So TSM actually are going to bring their tank from the support role, freeing up their top and their jungle to bring damage.
Dyrus on Irelia has been quite a menace himself. We'll see how he does versus Lulu's Ackerman. Both of these top laners show a heck of a lot of consistency in their play from week to week, but who can make the plays here? SuperWeek is where you have to bring out that next level, bring it to 11.
Now, I really want to concentrate on this TSM composition because it's so interesting. There's so many different little moves that they can pull off. I really hope that Amazing builds damage cooldown reduction Rengar instead of the tank cooldown reduction Rengar that we've seen, because he has a Zilean backing him. So he can have the confidence to build that early brutalizer along with his Spirit of the Elder Lizard and go for that early damage, so his ganks, early ganks are more impactful, but he won't have to worry about dying because he's got the Zilean to back him up with the ultimate. He can just dive right in and play extremely aggressively.
He can go very hard in these fights. It's also going to be hard for LMQ. They got to figure out how to coordinate in their fights. They have a lot of AoE, but if they go after Lustboy a little too much, you still have the Zilean time of his ultimate to get somebody back. So there's a lot of mitigation TSM's working with in those fights too.
Yeah, looking on LMQ's side, Nunu is a very strong jungler to go against Rengar, because one of the strongest things you can do against that Rengar is take away the big monsters in the jungle from him. Nunu's great at counter jungling and taking those away because you can take away his stacks, delay his stacking up of his wriggles into a Pharaoh Flare, as well as delay the experience that he's getting to get to that level 6. So you can also ward really deeply as Nunu because he can rush a sight zone. He doesn't have to complete his jungle item.
Yeah.
There are just so many things that NoName can do this game to try and punish Amazing.
And should do.
Yeah, we'll see if he's actually able to pull it off, though, because it does require support from the laners. Just to make sure there's no tricky bigness coming in with a late invade. I guess he could delay a late invade by a few seconds.
Because he can.
Or he's just getting his rage out, practicing.
Hey, man, people saying Lustboy doesn't make plays, so you gotta start making plays. Let's see. The junglers are going to be following each other here on the same side.
It kind of triggers LMQ. They may be thinking that was a false leash, just because Lustboy stayed over there.
And then he came away with mana.
He used mana and he took damage there. So it's a small trick that can help the jungler. As I said, there are so many things that NoName can do. Having the wrong intel of where Amazing started might be a small help to Amazing in this.
Yeah.
Because it could trigger NoName to start his early invade and battle plan completely off of a blue starting Rengar, because they did have the late arrival of Alistar, having used mana and having used health. But really, it hasn't affected the game too much so far because NoName just did a regular path. We'll see, though. It could tip off. Oh, the other thing it could do is, you know, no wards have been placed bottom there by Vasilii, so little does Amazing know it would have been a very, very good time to gank bottom. He actually wards first and then
great place
to circle around back for it. Here comes NoName.
There's the ping. They do get vision on him. They see him a little bit, and they now know that he has taken the same path with both buffs being warned, but now this is where NoName, he has found Amazing, and now he wants to put that pressure on. This is going to hurt.
He can easily do it. Great job. I don't know why Amazing would go try and jungle immediately after seeing NoName.
Yeah.
Easy follow there for NoName, and actually delays that Rengar quite a lot. Not only did he get the money and experience off the white, but Amazing was cornered in his own jungle. You could see the territory that NoName was controlling there.
Yeah.
He cut Amazing off from doing anything. His only options were to either recall there or go for a lane gank bottom, which is already pushing back away from them. So the early move by NoName already paying off.
And Dyrus,
even though there was that fake leash.
Aggression for CS here in the top lane and trying to keep within that. He's up 23-20, but he took quite a bit of damage, and he was just about to back. But now with Amazing coming just on his heels, looks like they may try to get a kill out of this.
All right, Amazing really does need to have a successful gank to get back in this. Looks like he will get... Oh, he missed!
Oh, wait a minute.
Is Dyrus
There's going to be a slow. You got one more second of Whimsy. That's going to be the lockdown. There's just a go. He gets a beautiful glitter lance on both of them. Oh. He just got away from the farthest portion of the lane. Now to the bottom. The action doesn't stop. First blood coming in. A few more hits. Oh, it goes the long haul. What a snowball chuck coming in from NoName.
Great gank here. I mean, Amazing. He focused up top, and all, you know, on all fairness, that should have been a kill, and it should have been the first blood.
Oh, yeah.
For TSM. But he didn't hold on to the bola, missed the first one, and then got the second one flashed. So all credit to Ackerman for a great escape, and then NoName for an answer gank down bottom to get this Tristana, Vasilii, as we talked about. going very, very, very early here. And Lustboy's trying to hold the CS for Turtle to get back, but it's getting dangerous. LMQ's, Vasilii specifically, is making him pay for it.
So this is Ackerman having teleported back to lane. We'll see what happened in that bottom. Wow! Look close up. Turtle there in the front. Look at this. NoName's like, huh! Gotcha!
And the big part there was the blood boil that he was able to put on Vasilii. Yeah. And then even though NoName had to walk through the entire goop,
and
the slip and slide from WildTurtle, he gets all the way there in time for the flash snowball. We'll see though, because they really would have rather had that first blood money go on to WildTurtle or onto Vasilii.
Right.
But NoName will definitely take it, and it will help him control this early jungle.
Yeah, if he does get that, he's doing exactly what he should. He's ahead, he's being a menace even more, trying to cause problems, and Amazing has to back here, looking for his own jungle, which he's not going to get.
It is going to be such a late level 6 Rengar.
Yeah.
LMQ have done exactly what they needed to do for the early game here. They've already stunted Amazing's growth. Whoa, and Vasilii once again.
Oh my
gosh. Here comes NoName.
Lustboy trying to be a mad cow. Beautifully played on his crowd control. One headbutt, one pulverize, and WildTurtle's able to waddle out of that one alive. They are summoners down from that last engage, so they got to be careful.
So I would always watch the Vasilii bans. Most people banning that Tristana against him. He loves playing aggressively. And Trist is great in lane, even in the early phases. This is still, by the way, the old explosive shot active that does 110 base.
Ackerman baiting this one out. He has his ultimate. Dyrus just used his.
What it means, what that means is more wasted time for Amazing.
Right.
He went up top, delaying the level 6 even further. We'll see where he does finally go with that first game.
See what his best options are. Bjergsen returning to lane. Summoners still there for him, but we actually haven't seen too much damage between our featured matchup just yet. XiaoWeiXiao and Bjergsen still handling each other quite well in that mid lane. 1 minute, or rather 1 kill in at 7.5, and it's a 1,000 gold lead for LMQ as they work the late game Tristana.
Well, even early game, this is still pre-nerf, so Trist has a very strong lane phase here, and we've seen it already.
Yeah.
It's usually dangerous for him to jump in because there's an Alistar here.
But it's Vasilii.
To protect. However, Vasilii's only done it when he had NoName at his back. So he knew he had support each time going in. And it's off to a great start for him. Look at that CS discrepancy. He is absolutely destroying the bottom lane. TSM have to have a very good Rengar gank to get back in this game because time is running out for them.
This is where Ackerman decides to keep Dyrus. They're both quite a ways away on this teleport, so it's probably going to stick to the top lane. The Dragon is getting a good amount of pink wards coming in from the side of LMQ, so we may see that coming up, especially with the blue buffs just being taken. With the red buff going over now to XiaoWeiXiao. Maybe. No, it's not going to. Why not? Still got ganks coming out of NoName.
Gotta get back to the lane in time for minions. Now, this CS's difference in mid lane also is pretty much just as big. XiaoWeiXiao is doing a tremendous job farming those jungle camps as well as controlling mid against Bjergsen. He has not been worried about this Rengar gank so far, but here comes Rengar down the mid. At the same time, though, LMQ starting off the Dragon, and they do have vision control.
Yeah. Well spent money on those pink wards. This is going to be quite easy for them. Lustboy would be crazy to be heading into this one. He's not even level 6 yet, and the team actually tries to make a bit of a move to see if they can get a catch, but levels down. Dragon goes to LMQ.
So, if things are just remain as they are, you know, Nunu has a huge advantage as far as objective control. The Rengar has to make the move to get a pick first.
Yeah.
That's where all of his objective control it comes from getting a gank, a successful gank to get a kill before they can pick up an objective. But NoName, all he has to do is keep up the vision control, and an easy Dragon for them. Wow, going for more there instead. They get
fast
the flash.
fingers.
That's it.
Unfortunate. That's another one. Kobe Amazing just falling farther and farther behind, not getting what he wants. He can go back into the jungle, but it's going to be rough.
And look at this, Ackerman, or XiaoWeiXiao in the mid lane. He's doing all of this huge CS lead with an Avarice Blade. That is the greediest build that you can have. Just boots one Doran's Blade and Avarice Blade, and it is paying off for him. He's still crushing in CS. he is definitely going to be a problem for TSM towards the mid game here. Static Shiv already completed for XiaoWeiXiao. He just got a huge boost in power.
Let's see how they decide to use it. Always very interesting to see where LMQ decides to start to spread that power. They don't just leave it in one spot and say, we're doing all right. Yeah,
well, he's also picked up Vision too, so he knows that now, since he's got his Static Shiv, he has the ability to defend a pink ward, so he's picked up a pink ward of his own, and he can easily replace these two that TSM have just come through and cleared out. Thing is, they don't have to rush it because they already took the dragon. They have the exact dragon timer. He can hold on to it until they actually need to establish the Vision lead down there once again before the next spawn of dragon. NoName comes in to supplement everything that was just taken out.
Let's see where they decide to go with this. Back to the bottom lane a little bit more. Looks like we're going to Infinity Edge from Vasilii first. It almost works out in the way the lane's not pushing. He's rocket jumped forward numerous times with NoName on the gank, so they're kind of playing that lane. Only one into explosive shot. So he's harassing off the auto attacks here. It may be a little too late for that, though. Very close. He'll burn down, but he will be safe.
Gotta respect that Alistar combo. Nearly taking his life.
There's sustain on both sides. It's not usually what AD carries are seeing. You either have Nami or you don't, but now with Alistar back in the game, you got to consider that health coming back in against your opponent. Slowly pressuring this one. It's going to be NoName. He will just show himself a little bit of muscle flex here and keep him off the turret.
Yeah, and that extra speed he gives Vasilii with Lustboy helps a lot as well. Dodging the Kog'Maw ultimates, which are very, very problematic at this phase of the game. Amazing just showing up in lane to help shove it all the way in, though.
Really trying to go for a gank here. Still have teleport. No, teleport's down, actually, for Ackerman. Dyrus has it, but with Ackerman so close to him, it's probably non-existent for that teleport to happen right now. So they safely push him off the bottom. Amazing, kind of soaking up CS there, but he's not getting what he wants. He's still going for that cooldown build, however. NoName pretty far ahead of him with the Sightstone and that cool coat building.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really big deal for Nunu to be able to get that Spirit of the Ancient Golem pretty early too, because he does already have bonus health in his kit when he consumes a jungle golem. Dyrus doing a pretty good job trading back there, by the way.
Great shots.
That Nunu will become a very early tank for this game.
Yeah.
Because he's stacking so much health.
Well, probably in for a pretty good game here. Never had an inhibitor taken down before 30 minutes between these two teams in their 3 matchups. We've always gone past at least 35 minutes. Well, that's a lie. One game was 33, but we're close. So probably going to get at least a 40-minute matchup here. So they are going to be testing each other towards that late game, and that's where that Kog'Maw and that Vasilii going to come into big play, especially with the ults of our mid lane matchup.
It's a really big thing that TSM have sort of missed out on this early game lead that Zilean will give your team. 8% experience across the board.
That's right.
For your team is something that you really want to try and take advantage of in this small patch of time where TSM are already behind the First Blood and the Dragon. Oh, NoName here with the bush gank.
All that crowd control was pretty much used instantly, allowing Dyrus to just flash away.
Causing
them to flash. I don't know if they'll have enough. They have to use it all. They do get Dyrus, but what can they get out of this? Dragon's in a minute, so that was pretty good timing, actually.
It's going to give them a lot of pressure on that top side. I don't know. Can they take the turret? Blood-boiled Lulu can actually take it down pretty quick, and he's been shoving the turret in already. Yeah, they can finish this one off. A top turret right before Dragon.
Right.
This is a huge buff for LMQ. They can shove this one in and time their wave up top with setting up for Dragon. This gives LMQ plenty of time to get the vision around Dragon. All I have to do now, bring down the Lulu, get those pink wards in place, and establish their vision around Dragon for the continued control. TSM trying to take an answer here, but the wave's already been cleared out.
Yeah, TSM was like, we need something now. Unfortunately, XiaoWeiXiao's wall stops all of that. Best of a bad situation, Dyrus doesn't have to use teleport to get back to that wave that's now at their 2nd tier, so he can be available for Dragon.
The other thing that's big about Zilean is the first team fight that you have is usually pretty big for that team, because at that stage in the game, the Zilean ultimate has a really, really big impact. This is where the teams are closest, in the earliest part of the game. And the first team fight where the teams are really, really close in power, reviving someone is a huge, huge difference.
LMQ just put their foot down.
It's up to TSM to try and delay down bottom by Dragon. It looks like they're just going to give up the Dragon and trade that top. They don't want to risk going into that fog of war and losing someone. So they do trade middle as well. A decent trade for TSM.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They actually don't risk anybody going for that Dragon.
So slowly played back into control, somewhat. Still 3,000 gold lead for LMQ here. We'll see Lustboy now completely trying to get himself in every lane to be omnipresent, and will help to start push these turrets up. Great for the disengage, so they make sure he's always there if they're in a sticky situation. TSM back up. They get a pretty good amount of gold there with 2-1 now in favor of turret vision for them.
And it's going to be an answer for LMQ anyway.
Yep, that was
quick. So they even up the turrets. The thing here is it looks like Amazing will be going defense cooldown reduction build for Rengar. That makes me think TSM are going to lack a lot of damage towards the later stages of the game. Relying heavily on that Kog'Maw is not going to work out. If they get really late here, Yasuo scales extremely well, Trist as well, is going to be buffed up by a Blood Boil from Nunu. So LMQ look to have the advantage as far as damage is concerned in the way that people are building right now. Definitely LMQ feeling like they're in a very good spot here. TSM kind of have to make something happen with a Rengar gank and pick somebody off so that they can translate that pick into some extra global gold. They really need to catch up on objectives. Pretty much everybody on the team right now is lagging behind.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. It's so hard for TSM to initiate a fight. They really have nothing. They're not pulling anybody in. They got to speed up and just crush face with Amazing if he can get in there and kill someone quick enough. Scary. Scary stuff. You're going to be jumping right into a possible tidal wave coming from more.
So what they're trying to do right now is work off their double Trinity Forces. They have two champions building Trinity Force, and whenever you get that item early, whatever champion it is, it's a pretty big boost in power. That being said, they're already at such a disadvantage that they still need the aspect of surprise. Looks like TSM, Amazing, looking for it.
This is what they need. This is the only thing they can get.
NoName is not the primary target, though.
XiaoWeiXiao gets hit up. He still has everything. Can initiate the fight as well. Uses that.
Dyrus has teleport, but
the rest of the team.
It's going to be hard for them to clear out these waves. Zilean double bomb already used.
See Team Solomid try to work around LMQ now. Usually we see TSM with the Elise, or at least the Thresh, trying to throw out all the picks and at least get somebody. This one, they got to be fed that. Almost getting a kill there out of NoName, stepping too close, but LMQ realizes they're getting too close to the fire, and they start to back up and play their own game of defense. Let's see if TSM can take hold here. A few good shots.
Great double bombs, too. Vasilii's going to be really low for this defense. TSM going to take advantage of the huge chunk. Some damage under the turret.
A few fast mistakes by LMQ there, but they quickly turn aggression from their mistakes.
Yeah, TSM does a good job of backing up, though, as XiaoWeiXiao just rotated mid from bottom. He was holding bottom, so although TSM didn't get much damage on the mid turret, by chunking down Vasilii, they drew XiaoWeiXiao away, and it enabled Dyrus to get something. Problem is, will he be able to escape? That's a blood-boiled Yasuo. Dyrus is probably going to go down. Ooh, the minion wave is in a perfect spot for TSM. They are very, very lucky of the timing, because if the minion wave was a little bit further up, XiaoWeiXiao could easily chase it. And that flash from Dyrus, 100% necessary. Very good choice by Dyrus and good escape by him.
He's playing cherry picker right now, staying as much as he can in those side lanes to cause chaos and get a split going. So far, grabbed top and bottom by himself. The team was able to grab mid during a bit of the chaos at that dragon, which we will have in 2 minutes. Very even. Not really seeing who's going to instantly win a fight here. We haven't really seen LMQ get their prime initiation, and TSM haven't really found a fight from Amazing on the right person. Both teams very good at disengaging, and they have the comp for it, right? You have headbutts on one side and tidal waves on the other. going to be very, very difficult to get a fight.
I think the first fight here, which could easily go either way still,
right?
Even though there is that 3K gold difference, it's going to hinge a lot on how well the Zilean ult is used and how good of initiate TSM can get with Amazing. Because they really do need one of those factors to come into play if they want to take the next team fight. Dragon in 1 minute, and they already have lost vision around the area.
Yeah, TSM is very lax on wards coming into this.
NoName
The sight
doing a great job.
2 sight stones obviously help him side an LMQ. What do they got, Kobe? It's going to be a slow push down mid as TSM tries to dictate what's going on here. 45 seconds. If they can get good damage on the turret, or at least some kits here, this Dragon will be that much easier.
The thing is, LMQ are choosing to use XiaoWeiXiao as their split push because Yasuo is so strong in the 1v1, but Yasuo does not have his teleport. So it's a teleport on Dyrus versus Yasuo, who just has to walk over, and they corner TSM.
Lustboy forced to use that ultimate right away, which means no damage is focused onto him. Whoa, hits him with the ulti on. Yeah, you can pen a lot, but that's huge damage reduction coming from Alistar. Might have been a mistake there. They are forced to back off now as TSM reassesses the fight.
Yeah, not the cleanest of team fights here. Turtle does have red buff too, and with Bjergsen having his blue, they have a pretty strong siege here. Can LMQ even get through this small window? Bjergsen's zoning them out.
Great wall, but they're going to step right through it. That's what TSM needed. They really can't engage a fight themselves, but they can brute force very well.
The thing is, they really need to regain vision control around this dragon. If they keep giving up dragons in one after another to LMQ, then it will be so hard for them to come back in the late game. And they almost kill off that pink ward.
Man mode. Going in. Got to be the new haircut. Trying to stay safe. Don't bring that. Oh, you should have brought it out the other way.
It's a friendly fire
I know it's friendly, but you're supposed to bring it the other way. It's all right. Still a good ward.
Well, the
ward
thing
clear.
The thing is, as I said before, Dyrus is not the initiator for this team. It's all about the tank from the support here, Lustboy. And Lustboy doesn't have his ulti. The ulti from Alistar being burned is a huge downside to TSM's comp here.
What are they going to be able to do? Checking out Amazing. He's on the bottom side. He also has bomb for a bit of extra damage. Not going to be a smite. It's going actually to Vasilii on that. There's the initiation. Last breath goes in. XiaoWeiXiao is forced to walk out of this. A great wall pretty much saves his life. Turtle, he's going to be chrono shifted back to life, and we're going to see if he'll be able to do enough damage now. There's the Void Ooze goes out. Tries to hit it down to Kathy, and surprise, it's going to be focused on to Vasilii. He gets hit up, and he actually is put between both of them. WildTurtle doesn't get damage. Vasilii says, "King me." Goes for another jump. XiaoWeiXiao beats it in. Vasilii gets the pentakill.
That may be the earliest pentakill that we have seen. And once again, banning the Trist against Vasilii here. LMQ come up huge. They get the dragon and they get the pentakill.
Amazing play. Definitely one we're going to want to see again.
So NoName, even though the dragon is about to die, NoName flashes in to zone for the team. And TSM, even without this Nunu focusing on taking the dragon, LMQ get the dragon. And they put so much damage into the Nunu at the beginning of the fight that they're not able to clean that one up. Woo!
Little low Vasilii just hanging around the outside. Nobody pay attention to me.
Yeah, I want to see it one more time, actually.
What a great play to come in on SuperWeek. Third game of the day. Pentakill coming in for Vasilii on Tristana. We're going to see a 24-minute game quickly change pace here, and TSM going for a little bit of an aggressive move, trying to pull LMQ into a false sense of security around this Baron. I don't know if you can ever feel secure here.
They kind of have to fake like they are doing the Baron right now and bring LMQ into a bad spot, because from this point on, TSM's damage falls off pretty hard. They've got Zilean, and Irelia's transferring into a tank build now, so not much more damage coming from her either. This is the point where TSM's damage really falls off. They have to get some sort of pick.
That's the speed up. NoName gets hit. That's the disengage. The tidal wave sets up everything. TSM now sitting in a choke point, trying to get this fight.
Whoa!
Great headbutt pulverized from Lustboy. Is it enough to turn it? Dyrus is the only one that can get deep enough. Nobody else can gap close out of nowhere.
It was a great wind wall, and it kind of zoned off the rest of TSM there. Nobody else wanted to go through it to get to the back line. If you cut off the damage from Kog'Maw on the back line, there's not a lot that TSM are going to add.
Well, turnaround there. It doesn't seem like the pentakill did much for a grouped up fight if it were. Let's see if they can keep it going. XiaoWeiXiao and their team able to hold off and stave a bit there. They lost more, but the best one to lose in a full team fight. They were able to take down Dyrus and Lustboy. So LMQ still knowing they're ahead a bit. They're going to try to pressure a bit down this mid lane. See if they can get more wards out. There's been a lack of wards in this game, just overall. A lot of everybody just being in the same spot, mid, dragon, or top.
Yeah, they're mostly LMQ wards.
Yeah, if they're out, they're LMQ wards for sure.
LMQ, they do also a good job of timing the wards that they need to put up. As soon as dragon is going to be, about a minute off, they decide to get their deep wards down in the blue side jungle, get their pink wards down, clear out TSM's vision, and it's paid off time and time again for them. Now, though, I'm just very, very worried. Once again, the tank Rengar builds, cooldown reduction tank Rengar is not going to do a lot in this game because it's very hard for him to get to the backline through a Nunu. And once he does get there, he can't do much except take damage.
Good pink wards giving LMQ coverage. This is LMQ forcing that advantage. They're all right with losing that second tier turret.
Dyrus has teleport, but the Baron's almost dead already. It's too late.
Chomped down once again. LMQ coming up with early Barons. It's kind of their forte. Something they love to do. Dyrus trades back with a turret of what he can do. Looks like they're going to go ahead and try and get some more control over the base. Dyrus knows he's got a full team coming for him, so they're going to have to get themselves ready. Seraph's Embrace finished up on Bjergsen. Haven't seen too much coming out from him this game, but then again, we haven't seen really too many team fights that have allowed the Zilean ultimate to be used and then extended on with some defense. Looking for WildTurtle to get a second item as well.
I think you got to give a lot of credit to NoName for the early game control that he gave the team with this Nunu.
That was huge. The first time he saw Amazing, it was almost over.
Right. The difference in gank success as well. Ackerman living in the top gank there, the first gank from Amazing. Meanwhile, NoName really comboing well with Vasilii down there in the bottom. For the first blood of LMQ, this is the team that took the head of the game early, and there's no reason for them to ever let up. Tristana already a massive, massive threat.
Very different game being played here. Still focusing on the wards. Because a lot of teams talk about wards, but TSM doesn't even have the room in their inventory for wards right now. They're actually full up, so they can't get the vision back that they do need. That's kind of imperative. They're working with the one Sightstone to NoNames and Moors. TSM still had the vote last time we checked that the fans stand behind them, but it's going to get tougher as their vision just gets denied continuously. 2 Randuins to come out.
On Dragon too, which it looks like it is going to be a pretty easy Dragon for LMQ.
Yep.
TSM once again do not have any vision. Oh, and I like what LMQ are doing here too. They're not just waiting around in the river by Dragon because they're not quite sure if it's 100% dark for TSM. So they don't want to tip off TSM, and they're just waiting up on their own territory. Now that it spawns, they can go over and make sure that they have a strong perimeter of vision before they actually go to take it. They wait for XiaoWeiXiao to finish his recall, come back with the 3-item power spike that is scariest Yasuo we've seen yet. And that should be a very, very easy cleanup for them.
LMQ becomes very definitive when they get a lead in the game, and they will keep pressuring that lead. Even if they lose one of these fights, you'll see them teleporting out of the spawn just to home guard into a fight, as usual.
Yeah, and this lull that we're seeing now, LMQ just kind of taking all of the global gold that's on the map, comes from them playing so well with this Tristana. They know it's Vasilii's favorite champion. They all really play well around it. You can tell from the early aggression, trying to make use of the very strong explosive shot active, where Tristana has a pretty strong aggression early, and the ability to rocket jump and create pressure in her own lane by herself. They play off that really, really strong early, and then they kind of sit back towards the mid game and collect all the rewards from their early aggression. And then it comes out just in time for the late game where, once again, Triss goes through another spike, LMQ go through another bout of shoving down objectives. Turret after turret, taken for them.
And it becomes that much easier, Kobe, when that Triss has already got a pentakill and you're almost escalating the amount or the period of time you can do things in. Right now they've taken top. They can now go around the horn, and that second tier turret is going to be the next thing they want to take down in middle. Dyrus still doing what he can, pushing minions. See what he can on the outside. 30 minutes on the clock. We're getting close to there when LMQ took the earliest of inhibitors between these two teams, which was 31 minutes. It only took them 2 minutes after that to win the game. We'll see if they have the same result here. It looks grim on that, but the win still looks close.
Yeah, this could very well be LMQ 4-0 against TSM. Yeah. This time around, they've done such a good job of just answering everything that TSM could have had going for them. With the Nunu pick, really stunting the growth of Rengar early. But man, I'm very curious to see. This is one of the things that you want to, you start thinking about already. If LMQ do place high in playoffs and they do earn one of the spots 2 worlds from North America, will they be able to do this same type of thing against the Korean Rengars, the foreign Rengars, who have been a lot more threatening than the Western Rengars? Would this same play actually work just as effectively? That's what we really want to see, the true test. Because so far, in North America and pretty much Europe as well, we haven't seen a lot of success with that jungle pick. Right. But people really want to make it work.
We'll have to see. They play consistency, and it always seems to work. LMQ really only put themselves in a bad situation maybe 2 or 3 times, and once it was in Champion Select with the Pantheon pick. So they can really steer themselves away from danger and understand when it's correct, but see if they can steer themselves out of this.
Yeah, they did talk about, oh, we get ourselves into trouble when we change everything up in Champion Select. Yeah. They didn't change anything up in this Champion Select. These are basically LMQ's favorite champions. Right. Almost across the board here. I mean, NoName might prefer Lee Sin over Nunu, but Nunu's a very close second for him. TSM does get another turret in this split push by Dyrus, but they can't afford to give up inhibitor turrets. Dyrus probably has to come back right now.
LMQ is taking that vote now, 62-38. Dyrus' teleport back as they try to set up the turtle on this next wave in. 1 minute on to Baron. See if LMQ can get any more pressure out of the bottom lane here, or just to steal resources before they back. Our featured matchup in that mid lane, Bjergsen's been doing well outside the lane with 365 to 298. Some of that CS lead came definitely in the lane as XiaoWeiXiao does to his opponents. Somehow finding consistency against Zilean.
Yeah, and Bjergsen is doing everything he can to stay relevant later in the game. But Zilean, it's just Zilean's just ratios aren't that great to scale late into the game. We'll see if the revive is going to be that big of a difference. Meanwhile, the full tank Rengar here, 1 DPS item Irelia. We'll see if it's enough. TSM probably just have to get one of those picks and find LMQ playing a little bit lax. But right now, TSM have 0 vision to work with to get those picks. Absolutely nothing for them. So they rush down mid instead.
Just to teleport, Dyrus is flashed. He's pinched against the wall. Will they be able to focus him? Lustboy trying to do what he can. Amazing goes right in onto Ackerman, but he gets wild growth into the air. LMQ now reassessing the fight, and it's Dyrus in the eyes of XiaoWeiXiao and the rest of the team. They got to leave a man behind, and TSM goes to set up the turtle in mid. Oh, he gets the speed up! Oh, the Tidecaller's blessing, a good enough shot, and Vasilii is able to reel in another one. Looking for the triple coming in. If he can get even more, but he cannot get another reset, cannot get another kill. They will, however, take down this inhibitor turret and drop the inhibitor.
Red team's turn.
What a turn.
Question is, with a 30-second death timer for Dyrus and Amazing,
no, they don't.
How much does LMQ want to press? They don't have to press anything. They've got complete vision control of the entire map. They can go back and heal before this Baron. They don't need to, though. They just want to rush it. This is TSM's chance. If TSM are going to make a comeback here, it'll be for some miraculous steal on this Baron.
Only 1 ward on the map for Team Solomid at this point.
Yeah, there's no way.
And that's not going to be one on Baron. I don't think NoName has gotten a Baron this game. I don't think a jungler, I should say, has gotten a Baron throughout today. It's always been somebody else with an auto attack. We'll see what happens. The rest of the game, another Baron to LMQ, 9 on Dragon, and that's going to be money for TSM. Definitely money that they need, but it's just getting stronger and stronger on the side of LMQ. It's only a matter of time before it's lights out. 35 minutes into the game, TSM's going to try and set up slowly. Here's the vision. Let's see if they can get it back in order.
They're going for a little bit of a desperation play. They hope they can catch somebody from LMQ away from the pack. And that's honestly the best thing that they can do right now, is stack up in 5 where they know they have true sight and pick somebody off.
Well, map is objective free. That means that Team Solomid can move freely as well.
They've used all of their vision control, though. They dropped pink wards and all of their sweepers around the dragon area, hoping that LMQ would come in one by one, looking for that free dragon money. But all of that money they dumped into that true sight all goes to waste down on the bottom side of the map because LMQ just heads straight up to top. LMQ do not mess around, looking to end this early. They can work with that push of the super minions up mid. It's very easy for them to siege this turret. Vasilii already scaling into that lane with his range.
And LMQ just moving so quickly right now. It's like they have inverse vision on the bottom half of the map. Since nobody's sitting in their 40 wards on the top side, obviously TSM sitting in the dark on the bottom, so let's go top. They get here at about the same time as TSM's able to regroup quick enough. NoName and the team is ready to give Vasilii a meat shield here as he goes onto the turret.
Short
Good little hop there. Gets himself out of danger.
Bomb's still doing decent damage to Vasilii, though. As you can see there, he's getting chunked down to half, which is some good news for TSM. But TSM really got to make their move. Their turret's down. Amazing used his ult, and he doesn't get off the initiation. What a disengage from LMQ there. TSM going to have an extremely difficult time now because not only did Amazing use his ult, he's out of ferocity. He won't do anything in this team fight.
You can see him still trying to throw out bolas and get that charged up once again. Inhibitors going down now in the top lane. LMQ is making quick work of Team Solomid's base. Just 4 minutes ago went down the first inhibitor. So they're going to stay for some pink ward fun as well.
All right, TSM got to do something here. 2 inhibitors down. That's pretty much the death sentence.
Definitely looking grim at this point. LMQ knows they have control. Gonna slowly walk this one to a possible 4-0 against Team Solomid over the season. TSM gritting their teeth here for what could be a final fight. This wave's quite far out, so they got some time to think about how they can make this happen.
I mean, LMQ just have so much disengage. Yeah. TSM can't get in. Even with a Rengar Zilean combo, they can't get in to the Nami, Nunu, Lulu. It's ridiculous. How do you engage on Nami, Lulu, and Nunu?
5 times fast. Say it.
Nami, Lulu, Nunu. Lustboy could try it, though. He's got flash combo ready.
I thought you meant say it 5 times fast. I was like, why Lustboy? 38 minutes. They're entering the front door. Say, hey, you guys want to party? TSM. They answer with no. WildTurtle just throwing loogies out from the backside. Oh, Amazing tries to party, but he can't really decide if he wants to stay all night. It's going to be Dyrus getting hit up. He's thrown through the front door first. WildTurtle's going to be the focus now. LMQ with perfect focus coming into this fight. And that's going to be a lockdown as well. XiaoWeiXiao coming up with 2 on that one. They will finalize another one coming in for Vasilii, and LMQ gets what they want. Now on the Nexus turrets here on SuperWeek. Bjergsen's, he's trying to go for Ackerman. The bomb. Oh, he saves himself. What a shield. Oh, my word. He does get more, though. Sushi for TSM tonight. It's going to be Vasilii on the last Nexus turret. He's staying focused. Everybody else is on the Nexus turret, or on the fountain, rather, and he's like, guys, let's win the game. 39 minutes in. Fist pump coming in from Vasilii. LMQ takes down Team Solomid for the 4th time.
Man, that entire game was under their control, too. From the get-go, LMQ running with the early Nunu for jungle control, and they did just that. Ackerman as well. You got to give a shout out for Ackerman avoiding the first gank there, even though he was extended so far. Making sure that the Rengar didn't start to snowball, and he didn't have a good early start.
Yeah, the first time he saw Amazing, he's like, oh, I'm tailing you. We're going right to Wraiths or right to White. Let's go. He did not give up. And we said that was going to happen. Amazing. They tried to play the mind game of Alistar bumping blue with a headbutt. I liked it. That was pretty cool. Alistar comes to lane low on mana, but it didn't phase NoName at all.
Yeah, TSM knew that they had to do something because
it was they
were expecting
a little something
from
no matter what.
Nunu. But honestly, it was just it was very well played by all of LMQ there. They really did deserve that win to go 4-0 versus TSM.
Yeah, I'd say a pentakill is well deserved. That was a very
22-minute pentakill.
Usually when we see pentakills,
usually when we see them, they're like 50 minutes in when it's a super fed AD carry.
I see this flag too. Don't worry about it.
And it's Caitlyn firing from the back lines or something. But Vasilii earned his, just jumping right into the team fights so early.
Yeah, that was twice in the bottom lane. Before they saw 6, they would just dive right into the AD carry as well. You're diving into an Alistar, so you're instantly going to get either headbutted out or pulverized. But that crowd control doesn't kill you, and LMQ knew that. Their aggression prevailed once again, and they just stayed on the ball. Ackerman keeping Dyrus down in the top lane again. And I think, as we said, TSM didn't get those kind of pick comps that they can make plays with. They didn't have an Elise. They didn't have a Thresh. They didn't have something that can lock somebody up, and then TSM keeps going on. So LMQ, they're able to take